Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield. Here with me is Kevin O'Sullivan. You watch us together on the Political Asylum with Kevin O'Sullivan. Double the trouble, double the fun. Kevin, you messaged me about this yesterday, this explosive new documentary that is Harry and Meghan focused. What are some of the highlights that are standing out to you? This is this documentary came out in Germany, and it's what everyone is talking about today.
It's called The Lost Prince, and it's going to go out in Germany, like on the equivalent of NBC in America or BBC here. It will be watched by millions and millions of Germans. And basically, it doesn't pull any punches. It attacks Harry and Meghan for their elitist lifestyle. It features one guy called Ben McBean, who was an Afghani, he's a British soldier, hero from Afghanistan, who flew back from Afghanistan with Harry, who of course also served out there. And Ben McBean is saying, by the way, Ben McBean lost his left arm and his right leg in Afghanistan, and Ben is saying, I don't want to listen to this prince going on about his brother having a scuffle in Kensington Palace. I don't want to hear this guy's problems. You know, we should, the rest of us have such problems as he has as a privileged member of the royal family. It also talks, this documentary, of their rather bizarre pretend royal tours of Nigeria and Colombia, where of course we get the full Meghan act. You know, I'm so philanthropic. I care so much about poverty-stricken countries and the underprivileged. And the documentary says, yeah, well, maybe next time you go on one of these tours, you don't bedeck yourself in extremely expensive designer clothes, designer label clothes. It really does attack these two. And frankly, it brings everything that people like commentators like you and me say into sharp focus. It's not just us. Everybody notices this two are a pair of hypocrites, and this documentary, I don't think it's going to be playing very well in Montecito, put it that way.
Yeah, that's true. It does seem like it's an encyclopedia of some of our biggest complaints. Before we move on, I did want to ask your opinion on this, because everything else, like you said, we've actually said probably out loud on this show. But the one thing that I took away from it was Di Davies, the former head of Royal Protection, talking about how he did feel like Prince Harry. He said at one point we knew that he had, you know, there was a number on his head, like, you are going to get this much if you you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And he says because Prince Harry talked about the Taliban and killing 25 of them in Spare, he really felt like that price remains on his head, and that he put the people around him in jeopardy when he made those comments in Spare. But he also kind of insinuates that perhaps that was Prince Harry's intention, to try to ensure that he gets that security that he's so desperate to get. Do you have a reaction to that?
Well, I do. I mean, we go back to his revelation in Spare, all the people I killed while I was in Afghanistan. Well, that breaks the sacred military code. Soldiers, veterans, do not talk about who they killed. It's out of respect for the enemy, and it's out of respect for themselves. When Harry boasted about the number of people he slaughtered in Afghanistan, the Taliban made it known, right, there is now a price on this guy's head. Well, fine, as Di Davies says, the former head of Royal Security here in Britain, well, you know, you want to do that to yourself, okay. It's a stupid thing to do. It's against the military code, but if you must do that, do it. But the problem with what you did here, Harry, is you brought the same threat down on all of your colleagues. So everyone who served with you now, in effect, because of that infantile boast in Spare, everyone who served with him also has a price on their head. The Taliban is after him, and it's after his colleagues, his brothers in arms that he served with in Afghanistan. Did Harry do this deliberately in order to, you know, demand that he gets armed police protection when he comes to Britain? I don't think he's that bright. I don't think he did do that deliberately, but certainly he'll use it for his own devices as he continues to fight that ludicrous battle against the British government demanding armed police protection when he comes to Britain. 2 judges have now told him, you are wasting your time. You will never, ever get armed protection from the British police unless you resume frontline royal duties. Those would be the frontline royal duties that you abrogated when you fled, when you ran away to America in Megxit all those years ago. So he's never going to get this. But yes, he'll say, oh, well, look, the Taliban are after me. You know, it's pathetic. It really is pathetic. He's just a little boy.
Yeah, it just you opened up this door yourself when you opened up your mouth. And no, none of us were asking how many people did you kill in Afghanistan. That was not on any of our minds. So I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. One of the things that they mentioned in this documentary is Archewell. They remind us that Harry and Meghan spend, what is it, 1 hour a week on Archewell, their charity. Yeah. Also, the calling out the fact that the Invictus Games in Germany were funded by a €4 million donation from Germany's Ministry of Defense. That leads us into another story I think that is very important. Archewell, you know, their motto is show up, do good. Sounds more like show up, take credit, because these two show up to existing charities and then release this bizarre impact report every year where they absolutely take credit for almost everything and give very little credit to the people that are doing all the work behind the scenes. They show up to these existing charities, these existing communities that are built, bump them out of the way and make it the Archewell show. Do you have any response to this video, this 1-minute video that they gave to people exclusively first, their Archewell impact report? You know, Netflix, who just had to sit through 5 hours of Polo, is like, where the hell was that for us? We wanted 5 hours of that, not Polo.
Well, as we speak, Kinsey, this is the 86th day since Harry and Meghan have been seen in public together. 86 days. A lot of the press, the media all over the world, particularly in Britain and America, is now speculating, saying, what the hell is going on? Guess what? Suddenly, Meghan releases this video. Oh, look, here's me and Harry all happy together behind the gates of Montecito Towers. I think that what is fascinating, though, about Archewell is what the hell is really the point of it? What does it do? They've had to file their business return, their tax returns, and it reveals this. This is astonishing, this. Right, over the past year, it has had donations, charitable donations of $5,700,000. Extraordinarily, 5 million of that comes from one mystery donor. I wonder who the hell that is. Because if donations were down to 700,000, that would be total humiliation. So they got.
Well, don't forget. I'm going to interrupt you just to remember. Archewell received a contribution of 10 million and a contribution of 3 million their first year. Yeah. What do you think the odds are that Harry and Meghan are the donors?
I think Harry.
Think about the huge chunk. Yeah. Think about the huge chunk they got in 2020 between Spotify and Netflix. They need Archewell to look relevant. Yeah. They need Archewell to look like they're contributing in some way, shape, or form. What I mean, everybody's saying Tyler Perry, Oprah. What if it's Harry and Meghan?
I think
it's a write-off.
I think it's Harry. I think it's Harry. Don't forget he inherited, I think it was £7 or £8 million from his great-grandmother this year. I mean, he's got a few quid, as we say in Britain, a few bucks hanging around. And I think that he has been donating to his own charity, is my theory, and I think you probably agree, his own charity to make it look respectable. But then go into these figures. It's absolutely astonishing. Right, $5,700,000. That's what they got last year. They gave away to charitable causes, wait for it, $1.3 million. So the majority of the money that they received in charitable donations did not go to charity. Then you look further at their books, they paid 3 members of staff, 3 separate members of staff, more than $200,000 salary. So the people who did donate to Archewell, who were dumb enough to donate to Archewell, didn't realise that what they're doing is funding massive salaries for the people who are working for this charity, and that the majority of the money that was given to Archewell went to the staff, went on expenses, and then a tiny 1.3 million went to charitable causes, one of which, by the way, was to Ashley Biden, old pardoning Joe Biden's daughter, for some therapy session thing in Philadelphia for women who suffer trauma. Now, $1.3 million in the great scheme of things, charitably, it's just peanuts. It's nothing. Wasn't this the couple who were going to change the world? The charitable foundation that would do good all over the planet. They're doing nothing. And we also discover that generously they donate a whole 1 hour per week each to Archewell. This is pathetic, Kinsey. This is pathetic.
It just shows how, hypocritical they are. But I was really taken aback by the Ashley Biden donation, because it does give you the sense that they are trying to insert themselves in the political space. How bizarre that you give $250,000 to the current president's daughter for a wellness space in Pennsylvania. I mean, is that why they thought they deserved to ride on Air Force One on the way home from the Queen's funeral? Is that why Prince Harry's visa has suspiciously been, hidden away in a vault? I just think that is a curious choice.
Well, when they we don't know exactly when they donated this $250,000 to Ashley Biden, but at the time, I suspect that they both thought, this is good. This will keep the current president of the United States happy. No problem with my visa. No one will get to see my visa because old Joe will look after us. You know what Joe's like? He's always looking after people, like his son, Hunter, that ludicrous drug addict, who's suddenly been pardoned for all his offences. Anyway, so what Harry and Meghan, if they had a brain cell between them, might have been wiser to be thinking about is not the current president, but the next president. Now, Donald Trump, as he considers what to do about Harry's visa, may well ponder on the fact that Harry and Meghan gave $250,000 to Joe Biden's daughter, to the Democrat's daughter, and that might play a role in whether or not Harry gets to stay in America. I mean, that was a seriously dumb move by them.
I love you. Now, this 1 minute video that they produced, I loved it. Someone online called it a love letter to themselves, which made me cackle uncontrollably. And I do think that Netflix is probably sitting back going, that's footage we would have loved to have had, and we gave you a significant amount of money for footage like that, especially when they see that 5 days after Polo's released, Prince William is starring in a new BBC documentary called The Earthshot Report 2024, where it's an entire documentary about his Earthshot campaign and what's been happening over the last year, all of the new innovation that they've helped to build and that they've encouraged. And he's actually in the trailer selling it. I don't take note, Prince Harry. I don't think that he is featured very much throughout it. I think the focus is actually the projects and the people, but he's certainly in that trailer selling it. And to me, it gives Earthshot credibility. It gives Prince William credibility. It makes him seem transparent, and he's holding himself accountable. And you can see that some of his actions are tangible, and that there's a genuine curiosity for this cause. Don't you think that Prince Harry could learn a thing or two from his brother and from the men in gray suits? Because that is what Netflix wanted. They were okay if Harry and Meghan wanted to be like Little Miss Charity Balls, but they wanted camera crews on them. They wanted mic packs on them. They don't care about Polo.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to remember this dynamic between the two brothers, the feuding brothers, the brothers at war of the royal family. William is miles more clever than Harry. Harry's a dumbass, and so is Meghan. They're not very bright people. William is a clever guy. First of all, I think when he commits to something, he means it. He realizes that you don't do things in the royal family, you don't do things on a token basis just to be seen, because people will put you under the microscope. They'll analyze. They will look into what you're actually doing. William knows if you're going to take on a project, you've got to take it on. And that's why I believe his Earthshot documentary, I'm told, I haven't seen it myself, but I'm told it's fascinating, it's exciting, and all through it you see William's commitment to the project. Now, we don't see Harry's commitment to anything. We don't see his commitment to the square root of damn all in anything he ever does, apart from, I'll give him some credit for the Invictus Games, although that $4 million from the German government is a very strange statistic. I'm not sure what that is all about. It's certainly it's classic Sussex. Yeah. Show up, take credit. Yeah. That, you know, somebody else paid for their PR stunt. Someone else paid so Meghan could prance around in cute, expensive clothes and have her photo taken. Classic Sussexes. But you talk about Prince Harry's lack of commitment, and that is sort of what Richard Eden is talking about. And his story, hidden details in Harry and Meghan's new Netflix show that have convinced courtiers he wants to return to the palace. They consider Prince Harry's lack of, being featured at all, distancing himself from the Polo show. They say courtiers are increasingly convinced that Harry wants to resume his old way of life when he felt like he was using his privileged position to make a difference for worthwhile causes. Kevin, I've never once, honestly, I don't feel like Prince Harry believes he's privileged. He's a perpetual victim. If he came at us the way Prince William does and says, I understand that I'm a very lucky individual, and I'm curious about I'm curious about how people have gotten to the place they are in life when it comes to being homeless. I never hear Prince Harry say that he understands that he's privileged. I want to know what you think about this article, because I think it's another example of us trying to rewrite history. Harry himself told us he felt trapped in that family. He called it a system. I don't think there's any chance that he really, truly could go back. And the idea that there's any sort of clash with Meghan, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. And Meghan wants celebrity. Meghan wants Hollywood. Yeah. Meghan wants to make money as well. She's not getting that, is she? Look, Harry showed his lack of commitment. But what was interesting in the Richard Eden article in the Daily Mail over here was that more and more insiders saying it is absolutely clear that Harry's heart is not in the TV project. He doesn't seem to be particularly interested in Polo, his series. He's not in it. He wasn't in the trailer. He hasn't promoted it. He doesn't like this showbiz stuff. He doesn't want to do it. Therein lies his problem. Now, also in that article, there is what I believe to be a quote that I find hard to believe, which is a courtier saying, if Harry and Meghan want to come back to Britain and resume full-time frontline duties, royal duties, they will, of course, be welcomed. I think that's a crock, absolute rubbish. They will not be welcomed. King Charles, I think, is very circumspect about it, although he's always got a father's love for his son. William and Kate, as I always say, they don't ever want to be in the same postcode as Harry and Meghan. They will not have them back. Harry, of course, yearns to come back because, like a little boy, he ran away from the trapped, horrible life the awful life he had living in privileged palaces, jet-setting around the world. Oh, what a nightmare for him. So he ran away from that. Now he realizes he's a lost prince, if I can say that, over on the West Coast. He doesn't know what to do with himself. And so what does he do? I know. I'll go back and do what I did before because I used to like that and people used to like me. Well, sorry, mate. you have broken the bridges and you can't mend them. He's not coming back. He may try to, but he will not be invited back into the royal fold by either Charles or William. And I think the big question is, you know, what does this guy do in the future? I don't think he'll make any more television projects. I don't think he'll get involved in films. You know, so what the hell will he do with his life?
Well, I thought you just meant what does he do in general, and I was like, yeah,
that's
I mean,
what I meant.
I think he probably smokes a J and plays video games all day in Montecito, for being honest. I want to mention really
it's the Californian way.
Yeah. Before we move on, I thought of you when I read this line in the Tom Sykes piece that ran in the Times over the weekend. The trailer has added fuel to Hollywood rumors that executives at Netflix are not particularly happy with the documentary's laser focus on the Argentinian player Nacho. So apparently I didn't realize this, but it says you have to wonder, if Nacho failed to make it big 20 years ago, why make him the focal point of a lavish production today? I didn't realize that Nacho was like a model and trying to pursue Hollywood 20 years ago. Yeah. That blew my mind. Also, that's a terrible idea. And you know what I expect from Harry and Meghan? Terrible ideas. Why now does Harry think stop trying to make Nacho happen, is I guess what I would say.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, we've been saying this now, I think, for months. You know, polo, a series about polo, a niche sport for chinless wonders, is never going to resonate with the general public. Netflix knew this from the start, and when they actually saw the rushes, when they first saw the product of Harry's work, they were absolutely dismayed. Their first question, where the hell is Harry? He's not in it. This is the Nacho show. And by the way, also apparently there's some other guy in it, who's been married 3 times. He's a polo star, and he's seen saying to his pregnant wife in Argentina, hey, I'm off to the States to play polo, so you can be pregnant on your own. Good luck with the baby. And then in comes his mother, who says, that's no way to treat a pregnant lady. That's no way to treat your pregnant wife. So it looks as if that maybe this show doesn't even glamorize these polo playing idiots. It just makes them look awful. It's going to be a bunch of privileged rich people flying all over the world, being cruel to horses, playing a sport no one cares about. This has got mega flop written all over it.
And why are they allowed to fly all over the world? But Travelist tells us that we are not allowed to fly all over the world. I mean, that one guy in the trailer that's like, I fly to Argentina twice a week to play polo. Well, that to me seems like a waste of resources, buddy. I hate to tell you that. And yeah, they said when this show was first announced that the polo world was salacious. And I have heard the same thing. I've heard of men that have agreements with their wives, as long as I'm on the road, as long as I don't bring anything home, whatever happens stays there, So I am not surprised that that they are featuring somebody that his moral compass is questionable. Let's talk about, because I only have a few more minutes with you. Thank you so much for your time. Let's talk about exclusive. Raging Meghan Markle threatens to sack lawyer after she fails to bag simple trademark for posh jelly line. First of all, Radar Online, you and I've talked about it. We love Radar, but it is a tabloid. What does your instinct tell you when it comes to that headline? Are you leaning into this? Yes, I firmly believe it. Or is there any hesitation?
Well, look, it gels with a very legitimate story. And that is that Meghan has been looking for a chief executive for American Riviera Orchard, frantically, apparently, according to reports. And she's failed to find, I'm quoting from the article now, she's failed to find anyone who lives up to her expectations. And guess who she has found in the end, though? Brilliant news. Herself. So Meghan is now going to be the chief executive of American Riviera Orchard. Translation, Kinsey. This is a translation for that story. No one wants to do the job. American Riviera Orchard is dead in the water. It's never going to start. She can't get it trademarked because the name is controversial. It's got all sorts of legal problems. I'm not sure she can get supplies. There's some talk that Netflix might want to come in and run it for her. I'm not buying that, frankly. I think Netflix can't wait to cut the umbilical cord and get rid of Harry and Meghan. So do I believe that she's been raging against the lawyer who didn't manage to register the American Riviera patent, the trademark? Yeah, I kind of do, because that entire enterprise is in a complete mess. And we know what Meghan is accused of doing when things don't go very well for her. She starts shouting at people. She is, according to the Hollywood Reporter, a tyrant in high heels who reduces grown men to tears. So we know what she's like. So yeah, I do give Radar's story a lot of credibility.
That's right. All right. I'll just quickly read off some of these quotes. She's furious at the delays, which have been ongoing for months. She feels she's been made a laughing stock amongst the California elite because she can't even get a simple trademark over the line without basic errors. They submitted papers without her signature, Kevin. I mean, how do you submit papers to the government without, you know, an autograph? She's trying to give everybody an autograph in Montecito, but she forgets to sign her trademark papers. Also, I know we got to wrap soon, but the fact that they use their titles on their American tax filing, the audacity, we don't care that you are what is your reaction to the fact that these two use their titles on their tax information?
Well, I think, funnily enough, they're both obsessed with their titles, and they're obsessed with their kids' titles as well. Meghan, I can understand it. It's intriguing for her. Oh, I'm a real-life British princess, you know, and all this crap. I mean, you know, in Britain, by the way, we all laugh at titles as well. We don't take it very seriously. But Harry takes it incredibly seriously. The Duke of Sussex and the Duchess of Sussex. Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and all this stuff, because he's got nothing else in his life, as we just discussed. There's nothing in his empty existence except to sit there worrying about his title, worrying about his status, and worrying about what the hell he's going to do with his completely vacuous life. And as to the answer to that question, Kinsey, your guess is as good as mine.
All right, agree with us, disagree with us. Is Meghan Markle going to be a good CEO? She's and calligrapher and jelly maker and mom. She always loves to say, as a mother. What else is she? Yeah, she's an actress. She's a producer. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. Kevin, great job. You made me laugh beyond all comprehension.
That's what I'm here for.
Bye, guys.